Well, the ugly stage has really kicked in. So, I've woken up this morning and although it was only a couple of days that I did a water change and added these macros, the sand and the glass is looking very much algaeified, but the little algae that I put in look like they're doing okay. Where's the other one? There it is. And down there. And then there's this one. These little clean-up crew guys that I put in seem to be doing some sort of work, but yet not doing a massive amount either. And look, there's even some sort of stringy algae starting to fly around off there. So my plan today is I've done some tests on the tank, and we've got 5 parts per million nitrate, and we've got 1.0 parts per million of phosphate. So I'm not too worried about the nitrate, but it's the phosphate that is quite high at the moment. So I'm going to add a reactor, and what you can do is you can put all sorts of different media in this. You can put carbon, you can put phosphate removing media, and that's what I'm going to use today. So it actually comes with some tropic marine elimiphos, and what that's going to do is I'm just going to use a really small amount just to help reduce, because I've already done the water change. So what I want to do is just use something else just to help get that phosphate down, and hopefully I don't want to go too dramatic because I want there to be some phosphate in here. I never want to get it to zero, but you know, I need some for these algae to thrive, but what I don't want is them to get covered in this kind of brown algae and then them lose their photosynthetic ability. So yeah, let's have a little look at this guy. So here we go, here's all the components, and you've got your elimiphos over there. So it's really neat. This just hooks over it and then it hangs onto the side of the sump, and then you can fill it with whatever media you fancy. And then what happens is the water is brought in by this little pump here, which goes up through the media. So if it needs to tumble, you can adjust the speed here so that it gets faster, or so it's just a small little tumble, and then it cleans the water and then comes out of these little holes here. Okay, so I've had a little play around with it, and you can see it's really handy because what you can do is you can actually remove it while it's actually still in operation, and then you can actually empty it and refill it a lot easier. So you can just get rid of all of that in there, and you can actually just easily take the top off and then refill it. Okay, so just got 40 grams of powder in there, or of filter media, and we're just going to switch this on to do a light little tumble. So that's now on. So what I'll do is over the next couple of days I'll keep testing and see if this phosphate is reducing, and once it starts coming down, then I'll start trying to work out an amount to continuously use, obviously because I'm going to be feeding this tank a lot, and hopefully we'll start to see a reduction in this horrid brown algae that's appearing on the bottom. The next thing I'm going to use is this Vecton 200 UV sterilizer. I had it sitting in a cupboard, so I've just bought a replacement bulb for it, and I've bought a couple of adapters just so it fits inside the cabinet a bit better. So I'm just going to change the bulb, and then I'm going to run it on this small pump that I found. I'm just going to use cable ties to hold everything in place. Here we go, so it's a bit of a snug fit, but it all fits in, and I'm just going to direct the output into the filter sock. There we go, so it's all running nicely, and even got a nice little glow from the UV outputs and inputs. So hopefully this is going to make my water crystal clear. Alright guys, so that's it for today. Hopefully everything that I've implemented on this tank now is going to just make it run that little bit smoother and get my phosphate down. The UV sterilizer is going to be really good because it's going to sterilise everything. It's going to help with any of those algae blooms that I've been having and those bacterial blooms. I've also got it running at a really slow rate, so if there's any parasites or anything like that that could be inadvertently introduced, it's also going to kill any of that as well. There's obviously like mixed things on UV sterilizers and what have you. I quite like running one, it makes the water really clear. So my next update, I'm going to hopefully get some more corals in this tank. So do all the good stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you really soon.